Money boy, trade, money boy, trade.
Private jet flights overseas, damn piece.
This is MONEYBOY Trey from the Toxic Masculinity Show. Like, share, comment, subscribe to this video, and follow me on all social media at MONEYBOY Trey. Today's message is inspired by 3 events that have happened recently in my life. And based off those events, I want to come here and tell people, don't let people that you want to include in your dreams, goals, or ventures, whether they're friends or family, stop you from making progress. So the first example of that in my life is I created the Toxic Masculinity Show, and I had my co-host in mind because we have great conversation, just everyday conversation. We have great dialogue, different perspectives. We agree on a lot of stuff, disagree on even more. But I picked the gentleman because we have great rapport. You know, we did I think that within the first month, we did maybe 2 shows. And so I come to him one day and I was like, hey, let's do 2 episodes a week, 7 days out the week. Let's just take an hour minimum and do 2 episodes a week, 2 hours out the week. He says, okay. But episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 never happened. I am currently on episode 7. And so what I'm saying is don't let people that you want to include stop you from progressing. Keep going at what it is that you want to do. And if that person wants to be down with you and they are genuine, they'll hop on. So going back into this story, I'm doing, I do episode 3, I do episode 4, I do episode 5 by myself, no co-host. I come in on episode 6, he comes in, we get on the stream, he comes in after it started, we get on the stream, and we've had the conversation about, yo, bro, I make jokes and I'm like, bro, you like Jesus, you come in whenever you want to. He's like, oh yeah, man, you know I'm busy, I'm moving, all of that stuff. Yeah, I understand all that, but this is where my issue comes in. You can't tell me that you're busy, but then you're going live making videos. I'm not upset with you doing videos. That's why I picked you to do the show, because I feel like you have a great personality and you can do your own thing. I'm not knocking that. Go ahead. But don't tell me that you're busy and don't have time to do the show that we said we were going to do together, but you have time to do your own stuff. So that's the first example. The second message is, don't let people, I'm trying to say how to word this. The second message is, don't let people who aren't doing what you're doing and that didn't support you before you started doing what you're doing sway you from the path that you're on. And another example of that is, I had this young lady come on my post on Facebook telling me, oh, your post, your topics are trash, your posts are trash, you bash black women, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. And the whole time I'm saying to myself is, when I posted other stuff, you didn't comment, you didn't like, you didn't share. So why is it now that I'm posting something different, you have all this shit to say? But a more important question is, if you don't like what I'm posting, why do you continue to watch it? If something is on the TV that you don't like, you change the channel. I could see if you like paid for a movie and you like, well, I spent my money, I'm gonna sit through here. Facebook is free. You can't know everything I post and then sit here and tell me that you don't like me. That makes no sense. Apparently, you like what I'm doing because you know what I am doing. You can't say you don't like me or something and continue to watch it. That is fucking crazy. And that's shit that black women typically tend to do. So, as I said, don't let someone who doesn't do what you do or who didn't support you before you started doing what you do dissuade you from doing what you're doing. You're on the right path if they're telling you what you're doing while not liking you. Thirdly, don't allow a person that doesn't believe in your dream to dissuade you from pursuing your dream. And also, back to the last point, don't let someone that's not doing what you're doing tell you how to do what you're doing better when they're not doing it. And the third example of that is, I got a phone call from my brother, and he was like, yo, your older brother called me, and he was like, man, you need to tell brother he need to cut that shit out. And he was like, well, I'm proud of bruh. He took my advice. And at that moment when he said that, I knew the conversation was about to be some bullshit because he said he was proud of me for taking his advice and building some pages that have already been built. I didn't stop him. I didn't object. I let him keep going. So then he was like, but speaking of that, I went on Facebook and I noticed you unfriended me. And I was like, well, let me explain. I ain't fucked up about that shit. I'm like, apparently you are. You brought it up. So since you brought it up, let me explain why I did it. I said, you're on Facebook, but you're not active. You see my post and stuff, but you don't interact or engage with them. I said, so I unfriended you to make room for people that will actually interact, but you can still see my page because it's public. So we moved on, and he's telling me, oh, well, I like what you're doing on YouTube, and but you got this guy's video up, and people might think about this. And I'm like, bro, I post what influences me, and that what I post what influences me and what I want to share to other people who I think it may benefit. So I'm not worried about the people that may criticize somebody's message who I may share. So then he goes on to say, well, bro, you shouldn't have your music and your videos together because a liberal that's listening to you might not want to. And I'm like, well, to me, they both go together. I was like, one thing you're not considering is a liberal that doesn't want to hear music doesn't have to click on the music. I said the music is all the way at the bottom of the page. You got to scroll through like 130 videos to get the music. I said, but as far as well, no, I didn't say anything because he didn't care why I have my setup the way that I do. So I say to him at that point, bro, like, I'm doing this for a reason. You called me because somebody hit you up, meaning I'm doing something that got somebody's attention that made you call me. I said, so it's crazy that you don't want to hear why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. And so he goes on to say, well, I'm telling you how I did it. I got receipts and I did this and I did that and I was making money off of this and I was making money off of that. And in my head, I'm like, well, if that's true, why did you stop doing it and why don't you have it now? The things that you're telling me you made money off of and you can show receipts off of, why aren't you doing it now if it was lucrative? So we move on in the conversation and he's still talking. I'm like, hey bro, again, it's crazy that you don't want to know why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. I said, all you're doing is telling me what it is that you want me to do. But you're not realizing that me doing it my way is what has you on the phone with me now. So in conclusion, don't let people that you want to include stop you from progressing. Don't let people that aren't doing what you're doing, that are following you, stop you from what you're doing. And don't let a person that did not support your vision when you came to them and asked them tell you how to move forward and run your platform that they are now coming to you about when they didn't see your dream 2 years ago. MONEYBOY Trey, Toxic Masculinity. Like, share, subscribe, comment on this video. I'm out.
MONEYBOY Trade. MONEYBOY Trade.
Private jet flights overseas.